JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Woman killed, man injured in Mandeville. Police are probing the murder of a woman and the wounding of a man in Mandeville on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as Desisha Faulkner, otherwise called Drama, a resident of Burn Savannah in St. Elizabeth. Faulkner was reportedly an exotic dancer. Preliminary reports are that about 6 a.m., the police were called to a service station at the corner of Main Street and Caledonia Road in Mandeville, where the woman's body was found face down. It was clad in short black tights and a green blouse. Residents told the police that she was a dancer at a nearby club. Police theorized that the woman and man were walking through the service station when they were attacked and shot. The injured man sustained gunshot wounds to his upper body. Police theorized that the man was the target of the attack, as he was also one of 3 shot during a shooting incident in Greenville last August. 2 men were killed in that incident. 4 shot, 2 fatally at St. Mary Bar. The police are reporting that 2 of the 4 men were shot and injured during a gun attack at a bar in the Dover district of St. Mary have died. The deceased are 40-year-old Damian Melvin of Windsor Castle, Portland, and a 34-year-old Leroy Morand of the community. According to police reports, about 7:10 p.m., Melvin, Morand, and the 2 other men were outside a bar in Dover district when they were approached by 2 gunmen. The armed men reportedly opened fire, injuring all 4 men before fleeing the scene. The police were alerted and arrived to find the victims with gunshot wounds. The injured men were taken to hospital, where Melvin and Morand were pronounced dead. 1 man was admitted for treatment, while the 4th man received treatment and was later released. The police are urging anyone with information to contact them at 876-996-2244. Call Crime Stop at 311 or the Police 119 emergency number. Killer Miller shot dead in alleged confrontation with security forces in Clarendon. 32-year-old Dockrell Miller, otherwise called Killer Miller, was shot dead in an alleged confrontation with the security forces in Beckford Crawley, Northern Clarendon on Friday. The incident happened about 12:30 p.m. and involved members of the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force who were conducting an operation. Miller is from Sweeney Top district in the area. It's alleged that during the operation, Miller fired gunshots at the team when they tried to accost him. A silver revolver with 10 rounds of ammunition was allegedly recovered from Miller. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the matter. Gun and ammunition found in pillowcase on premises in St. James, an RF-15 multi-caliber firearm and 15 5.56mm cartridges were found in a pillowcase during a joint police-military operation in the Lottery community in Hamity Hall, St. James on Friday. Reports are that about 4:30 p.m., the team conducted a snap raid in the area where premises was searched. During the search, the gun and ammunition were found. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure. Investigations continue. Burger King employees freed as fraud case collapses in court. The fraud case against 5 Burger King employees accused of stealing almost $10 million from the Arborview branch in Kingston has been thrown out. Supervisor Camilla Wisdom and 4 cashiers at the fast food restaurant, Terrence O'Hara, Atia Mitchell, Sharon Williams, and Christina Lewis, are now freed of criminal charges brought in the matter. The case was dismissed on Friday for want of prosecution, following applications by their attorneys, Donna U. Martin and Davian Vassell, in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court. Want of prosecution typically means the failure to pursue a case in a timely manner. The 5 employees were charged in April last year with several counts of larceny as a servant, conspiracy to defraud, breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act, and engaging in transaction involving criminal property. It was alleged that the fraud was committed over the period December 2022 to March 2023. The employees were accused of pocketing the funds after voiding orders legitimately placed by customers. Ex-JDF soldier in shootout case spared prison time due to mental illness. A former Jamaica Defense Force soldier, deemed not legally responsible for a police shootout due to his mental condition, has been placed under guardianship rather than being sent to prison. A guardianship order is a court appointment that authorizes a person to act and make decisions on behalf of an adult who is unable to do so. King's Counsel Peter Champagne and attorney at law Samuel Campbell were successful in their plea in the gun court on Friday for 38-year-old Dane Johnson not to be incarcerated. It was argued that the historical way of treating persons with mental disability was to lock them away and throw away the key. The judge acceded to the request not to imprison Johnson and ordered that he should be handed over to the care and control of his mother. Asked what term of imprisonment Johnson could have received, Champagne said, had he been convicted without a special verdict, he could have been exposed to imprisonment for life. Johnson faced charges of illegal possession of firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, wounding with intent, and the 7 counts of shooting with intent. In April, the judge entered a special verdict, which meant that he was not legally responsible for the crimes because of his mental condition at the time of the incident. On Friday, the judge granted the request for the non-custodial sentence, noting that the court could have exercised one of 3 options: imprisonment, probation order, or the imposition of a guardianship order. Champagne submitted that a guardianship order was the most appropriate option and informed the court that Johnson's mother was prepared to be his guardian. He also provided information in relation to suitable arrangements that were provided for Johnson to be supervised periodically by mental health officials. The charges stemmed from the November 2, 2021 standoff and shooting incident with the police at his home in Cumberland, Portmore in St. Catherine. The incident, which Johnson had used his licensed firearm, lasted for about 1 hour and resulted in 1 police officer being shot and injured. Johnson was also shot. A number of witnesses were called by Johnson's defense team at the trial. They included a psychiatrist who confirmed that at the time of the shooting, Johnson was suffering from schizophrenia that causes hallucinations and delusions. The court was told that he was diagnosed in 2017 with the condition. His wife also gave evidence that on the day in question, he was acting unusual, and when she saw him after the incident, he looked spaced out and was not responding to her. And one of the cops was involved in the shootout, so that when he called out to Johnson to cease firing, he responded by singing a gospel song that was not known to him. Black box revelation leaves defense or cabby in chaos. A revelation that the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF does not possess the equipment to access or training to assess the black box of a Chapman truck involved in a crash that left 5 people dead in Westmoreland last year has thrown the defense's case into a tailspin. The situation came to light in the Westmoreland Circuit Court on Friday in the case against 47-year-old Delroy Rodney, a taxi operator from Belmont in Westmoreland, who has been indicted on 5 counts of causing death by dangerous driving. High Court Judge Justice Courtney Day is presiding. I have been advised by the Sergeant Upton Cole of the JCF Accident and Reconstruction Unit that the Jamaica Constabulary Force does not have the equipment or the training at this time to access the technology to assess the black box of this truck, a female prosecutor said. The prosecution further said the Accident and Reconstruction Unit of the JCF is to provide a letter outlining their conclusion in respect to the difficulty they face in this matter. This development is expected to affect the defense and their client's case as they were banking heavily on the black box report from the truck. This development is expected to affect the defense and their client's case as they were banking heavily on the black box report from the truck. Upon receipt of this information, it has left me very concerned, almost bordering on suspicion, because when they're able to do the black box analysis on the Voxy, it was done within 2 weeks, said Lambert Johnson, who along with Faith Salmon and Shanique Somerville are representing Rodney. He said that the prosecution's statement in court on the police's inability to analyze the truck's black box has created some level of doubt. Certainly, it has created some doubt as to how culpable the accused man would be, because what we have coming out now is that the truck's black box report will not be available to the defense and to the court, Johnson said. At the same time, someone expressed grave concerns about the manner in which the prosecution is handling the matter. We have requested this report for 5 months and 24 days now, and it is just now that they're saying that they don't have the equipment and that persons are not trained. That's not good enough, she said. On November 13 last year, Rodney, who owns and operates a Toyota Voxy as a public passenger vehicle, was driving when he collided with a white Chapman motor truck, killing 5 people who were passengers in his vehicle. In February, when the case was last mentioned, defense lawyers revealed that they had in their possession a viral video of the accident which could implicate the truck driver. At the time, Johnson indicated that the driver of the truck should be held responsible for the accident and requested that the black box of his truck be tested to ascertain how fast it was traveling. John Ralston, the managing director of Tankwell Equipment, whose company became the sole dealer for Chapman trucks in Jamaica and the Caribbean in 2018, said that the Chapman trucks are fitted with 2 types of engines, and only the Cummins engine is equipped with a computer system. The other, the Weichai engine, he said, does not carry a computer system. We bring them in with 2 different engines. The Cummins engines have a computer on the truck that basically monitors the engine parameter, Ralston said. If the truck breaks down, you can go into it and it can tell you whether it was overheating or whether the driver was over-revving the truck. It doesn't tell you anything about braking, driving, or how fast the driver was driving. Nothing of that sort, Ralston revealed on Friday. As it relates to the Weichai engine, Ralston said it's very basic and that the technology applied is from about 30 years ago. He also backed up the statement made by the JCF, pointing out that they do not have access to the technology to assess its trucks. They do not have the technology or anything to go into a Cummins computer in Jamaica. And I would say to you that if it was the other engine box, they wouldn't have access either, Ralston added. Rodney was slapped with 5 charges of causing death by reckless driving, arising from the death of 15-year-old schoolgirl Evicia Forrester and her 39-year-old mother, Petrina Wallace, of Gordon District, White House, Westmoreland, O'Neill Allen and his mother, 65-year-old Angela Samuel of Mount Edgecombe, and 54-year-old Janet Thompson of McAlpine. As it relates to the state of the case filed for trial, the prosecution has assured the court that all outstanding reports and statements, including the postmortems for all 5 victims, will be on the file ahead of the next mentioned date come October 28. The coroner has been informed that 4 of the postmortem reports have been collected and will be submitted to the court office for the file, the prosecution told the court. She said the report from the Accident and Reconstruction Unit of the JCF was submitted and that this and all other statements will be served on defense counsel before the end of June. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.